this episode of Million Mile Garage, I get a call from one of the producers on the show that I'm already supplying cars for. And they have what I think is a 1968 Cadillac Hearse that's been sitting in a warehouse the size of a football field for several weeks with what they tell me is just a dead battery. It's about 40 degrees in here. There's no lighting. We just have to use the lights from the car and a portable light so I can see what I'm doing to get this thing running. I can't show up until 7 p.m. because that's when the crew wakes up. They sleep during the day because they all work during the night because it's a scary slasher type movie. So they want to start filming in Cortland, Alabama at a cemetery at 9 p.m. So I have 2 hours to get it running and drive it 50 miles to Cortland. And I know absolutely nothing about this car other than I have seen it on the set a couple of times. Got room in the back for just one more. So we still have to drive this thing like another 35 miles, and I have to 2-foot it. She won't idle. She's not hitting on all 8. 500 cubic inches, but I think we're only using about 350 of them. And if I'd have thought of it, I'd have brought my carb cleaner. I could have taken the idle mixture screws out and blown it out. It probably would have fixed it. It feels like it's got trash in the idle circuit. You just don't want to idle. She's got the vapors. Man, I have driven some sketchy stuff, but I tell you what, this wheel has got about 6 inches of play in it. And it's barely running. I can't take my foot off the accelerator or she'll stop running. Cortland. I think that was about a 40-mile haul. So we're at the cemetery. I guess the entrance is up there somewhere. It's kind of hard to see it. But the old girl's running. In the back, this casket. Kind of soaking all the patina. Wish the lighting was better. I wish we could have done this during the day. Got an extra clip there. I never known you'll need it to hold up the visor. Surprisingly, not one crack in the windshield. 50 pounds of oil pressure almost, not too shabby. Got the vintage AC, not running. It's like, it's like 45 degrees out here right now. So. For all of you watching this, I hope it gives you a unique perspective on all of the work it takes to have every car show up in a movie, especially old cars with the patina this car has, to be able to show up and be in the scenes, even if you only see them for a few seconds. Of course, we ended up getting detoured on the way over here. We took a wrong turn and got to the cemetery about 40 minutes later than we wanted to, so we were just losing the sun. So we didn't get any footage of it there. Had to go through it a little bit. I was trying to set the idle up on it, but somebody busted the idle screw off on this quadrajet, and it's bent, and you can't get it with pliers, you can't get it with anything and turn it. So I got to 2-foot this thing everywhere I go. When I come up to a stoplight, I got to throw her in neutral and keep my foot on the gas or she'll quit running. And I'm afraid it'll be hard to start it back up once she gets warm. So I suspect what happened, this engine's only got 3,000 miles on it, sadly. I think the owner paid someone to build the engine, and I think it's a flat tappet cam, and it feels like the lobes are wiped out, because it just feels like none of the cylinders are making power. I mean, we're doing like 48. I can put it on the floor right now. That's on the floor. I mean, I don't even think this thing will break 70. I don't want to break it. I just want to get it home. But I'm guessing, as bad a shape as this is in, we're probably getting about maybe 4 miles to the gallon at 50 miles an hour. So do the math. We had to put some gas in it because it was almost empty. So to travel another 40 miles is probably going to take 10 gallons. She's showing half a tank, so that's probably about right. I'm assuming it's a 20-gallon tank. We probably already covered, what, 10, 15 miles? 10 anyway. And we're going to have to pass through Decatur and pick up on 31. And then we're going to drive across Limestone and deliver this thing somewhere in Athens. We were up all night. I was the only one that could keep the thing running. They filmed in the Cortland Cemetery last night. Kind of a sketchy story. This thing was stored in a warehouse in Tanner. So we had to drive up to Tanner at 7 o'clock at night because that's the sleeping schedule that the actors are on, because they film everything at night. So, and we had to have this thing up to Cortland by 9. And both batteries on it were dead. So we got her jump started after about 10 minutes. We let the van charge up the batteries. Had to bring a car with a strong alternator, so we brought a Honda Odyssey. And when she fired up, she didn't want to idle. We didn't know why. And she's not hitting on all 8. I don't even think she's hitting on 6. 500 something cubic inches I think we're using